What's up, Moostradamus? Thanks for the 39 months, dude. It's going pretty well. I've had a nice holiday. What's up, Born to be Wild? What's the plan for today? I am going to be doing a coaching session. The plan will always be in the title as well. Yeah, I'm always trying to, it's fair to check that. I'm always trying to update the titles. I'm trying to be more intentional about that. Which I am being more intentional, so I guess just note that I'm being more intentional about the title. What is 1.5 EU ranking MMR around? I am about 11.4. I'm ranked 1300. That's 11.4. Yeah, I mean, generally the only MMR system that really matters is EU. I'm not trying to like shit on other regions, but like your rank in other regions is very skewed compared to EU ranks. Like there was a guy that's rank 11 in NA and he's lower MMR than me in one of my games. You're hoping to get into the next round of dojo coaching? Nice. We're going to be doing 2 separate streams today. We're going to be streaming this VIP session that's coming up. And we're going to be streaming a class later. Actually, no, I'm not streaming the class later. Am I streaming the class later? Oh, no. Actually, don't know. Actually, I'm not going to be streaming the class later. Sorry. So there's only one stream today. That point of contact thing really helped. Nice, man. Would you consider coaching a duo? Yeah. I'd coach a duo. It's just one of those things where we're trying to get kind of iron out the systems that we're coaching. So like I do have a group of 4 that's getting coached in January. I just had them buy 2 hours worth of coaching. The group of 4. Please talk more about how to lay in as a 5, especially on shitty matchups. What do you want your 5 to do as a position 1 in shitty matchups? I want you to pull the small camp constantly and block the hard camp and minimize interaction with me and the offlaner as much as possible. That's generally what I want you to do. The most important part about a shitty matchup in the safe lane is that you have a small camp. Interactions? Yes. Them being near each other. You don't want them to be near each other. I mean, you're asking for, like, very general advice with no replay, right? So I'm giving you very general advice. Your goal is to get your carry to stop interacting with the offlaner in shitty matchups. That's most commonly done by drawing attention to yourself, which is usually done by pulling the small camp. Who's the best hero at the moment to fill the role of point of contact? I want to show on creep waves. Abaddon, Omni Knight, Bristle, Necro. I think these are all good heroes right now. Maybe Timbersaw. Where are you getting these questions from? Twitch? Yes, sir. Our coaching session is supposed to start in about 5 minutes. Oh, did we? Oh. Ah. I fucked this one up. Whoops. Okay, guys. Well, I fucked up. I did not cancel this session appropriately. This session got rebooked to next week. I just didn't cancel my previous scheduled thing. No, it doesn't. It's on me anyway. Okay. Well, we don't have a coaching session. Wraith King? Wraith King might work in your guys' games. I'm not sure. But he doesn't work in mine, I don't think. Let me just think about what I want to do. This stream I started for technically no reason. How do I want to go about this? I might just be ending the stream. Maybe cut my losses. Point of contact meaning? Point of contact means like who on your team do you want to initiate, or who on your team do you want to get initiated onto? Basically, this applies not only to fights, but it also applies to where you're positioning yourself on the map. It's gonna be. I'm gonna be making a video on it. I'll theory craft my meta video that I'm gonna give you guys. So I'll put. I'm gonna put like PL Spectre over here. Top 3 every role. Let's do this right now. Oops. 5 Terrorblade. That was a different patch. So we want to put Wind Ranger here. We want to put Drow here. And we want to put... Oh, I'm going to do this actually. We're going to do like this, top 3. And then we're going to do like a new category. This is for future videos. I think it'll be useful. Counters. 2 meta heroes. Can I make this like super small? Like do this. And then new category. What if I don't put anything here? Like what if I just do that? We'll do like carry. PL and Spectre. PL, Spectre. And honestly, I think the other carry is probably... it's like SF, Weaver, or... maybe Morph. And then mid is Ember Spirit. I think Storm Spirit and Invoker. And then I need to create a new category. I can just do this now. Well, you guys are going to get to see the making of a meta video. Mid. Three heroes not visible. Legion, Largo, Kez, JKL. Okay. And Int, Tinker, Storm, Silencer, Shadow Demon, Rubik. Isn't very large. Maybe I don't need this, but it does help me like reference things. Okay. Mid counters are like Huskar. And I guess I want this section to actually be... I'm actually going to remove this. So this is going to be counters to the heroes over here. Rather than like carry roll counters. So it's like Axe, Centaur, Doom, I would say. Off lane, I feel like we're seeing a lot of Tide. I'm seeing a lot of Omni Knight. Where's Omni Knight? And I'm seeing a lot of Centaur. So counters to this are Ursa. I mean, Centaur's not really a counter to these because his laning stage kind of gets fucked. Let me think about this. I don't really like this. I actually like Legion a lot against these carries, but it's like bad in lane is the problem. Maybe I just stick to... The problem is the off lane is like really strange right now. I feel like off lane just like loses most of the time. Like, I feel like every time I tune into people's streams, the off lane is also losing. In most of my games, the off lane is losing in both teams. Yeah, like I'm looking at Toronto Tokyo and he's like 1 in 5. And like I see this in like every like my last few games, like I'm just thinking about this. Like the off lane like always loses. This game was different because we had a Sven. Okay. There's like 2 iterations of the laning stage right now. There's safe lane is a ranged carry and the off lane gets shit on. The other iteration is the carry is melee and the off lane wins. Where is my thing? Here it is. I actually think Legion Commander is pretty fucking good right now. The problem with Legion, though, is that she's going to struggle in lane. But I think she's pretty fucking good. Because she's always been good against range carries. She's not the greatest against them in lane, but she's always been good against them in game. 5 is Warlock, number 1 for sure. Kiro. And I would honestly say tree. Honestly, to like Warlock Jakiro, I don't think there's a counter. Fours are... What four meta have I been seeing? I've been seeing a lot of Sky. I've been seeing a lot of Shadow Demon. And I've been seeing a lot of... What else have I been seeing? I'm like watching a pub right now because I'm curious like what's happening in it. So my prediction is that Luna's a pretty good hero. My prediction... Oh, Tiny's a good mid laner. I guess we're going to give like 4 heroes, I guess, in every role. Why not? Honestly, I think Luna might be one of the better heroes in Dota right now. I'm going to go with SF, though. Just do top 5s. 4 feels weird. Sure. I'm fine to put Ursa up here. I don't like that it, like... How does this work if I do this? Okay, so it doesn't look bad after the fact, but it looks like terrible here. Who would be the 5th mid? Lena. My thought on mids right now is that they have to be playmakers. Like, I don't think farming mids is a thing right now. I don't know who I would put as the 5th mid, though. Quap is seeing lots of play. Is she? I hardly see Quap at all anymore. What's Synderen got in his game? Maybe there's a hero I'm missing. What's Excalibur got in his game? Hope he's not playing. What's ILTW got? There is a quap in his game. Or no, he's watching your game. I feel like... This is the... This is literally Syndern's game. That's funny. Syndern's in like a super high MMR game right now. I don't think Shaker's good right now. What kind of hero's the cutoff for a playmaker? I mean, mid laners don't like... They have to have some sort of kill threat like early on the map. So like Invoker's like the one exception because he gets Sunstrike in some games and he also gets like an early Ags as Wex Invoker. Yeah, I mean, it's much harder to have top 5 in every role. Like, Nature's Prophet is still probably fine, but... Yeah, I don't think Puck's very good. Maybe SF. I'm actually just going to put SF. I feel like SF is kind of just back. You need your mid to be like a playmaker or like a shit ton of damage, I feel like. And like Invoker SF kind of fit the like shit ton of damage. And then offlaners. Offlaners, in my experience, have to be like super beefy boys that buy sustain items. And maybe Legion. My prediction is going to be that Pudge is good. Maybe it's not Pudge. Is there an offlaner that I'm missing? People are still picking Axe, but I'm not convinced he's good. Maybe it is. Axe is like really mixed signals for me. Isn't Dying a good hero right now? He kind of fits the meta. I don't think he'd be carry though. I think my prediction is that AA is going to become good. I guess I'm going to put this over here. Oops. I think Shaman's really good, actually. I also think Coddle's really good. I think probably a hero like Tusk is really good too. Like Tusk or... There has to be like some melee 4 that's good. Even though I don't think it's particularly ideal. I think it's more melee 5s right now. Actually, I think Tusk is probably a better 5. Like Tree, Tusk. And... what's like another hero I just never want to lane into? I was thinking about Omni Knight maybe. I was thinking about Omni maybe. Because Omni's like... I think Omni's like a really strong hero right now. I'm going to put like one more healer. I feel like it's like Wisp. We're seeing a lot more Wisp in the games. Yeah, I'm gonna actually say Wisp. These are like a little bit off. It's like really hard to like format actually. I guess I just kind of accept that it looks like this. Maybe it goes like this. And maybe that's the play actually. It's like this. Can't fucking grab this one. I'm just gonna put a hero here for now, so it fits better. And this is gonna move over a little bit. Oops. I don't think this needs to be so far down, right? Okay, like this. Then this gets booted up. Doing our best to like eye this out here. Guess I should come from up here. This looks cleaner. This needs to be a bit less. Okay, that's about as clean as it's gonna look, I think. The thing is, Necro belongs in here somewhere. I just don't know what his best role is. It's like... I also think Necro counters these offlaners, too. Like, that's why I think Necro might be a carry. Like, I'm gonna put him here. Like, he shits on all these, like, sustained, beefy offlaners. Is not aware of Undying. Pretty sure I literally mentioned, or I thought about Undying. He might be a really good hero. I'm not going to put him here for now because I haven't seen him enough. I don't want Largo there. Oh, instead of Tusk, I'm going to do Pugna, I think. Like, honestly, just any healing 5. I'm not going to recommend Enchantress, even though I think she might be good. I'm just thinking of, like, what else might be good. Honestly, I'm going to put Tiny in 4s as well, actually. Because I think the hero you're playing either needs to be meta or good against the meta. I have to, like, time you out, dude. You're pretty annoying. May I ask what your thoughts are on Outworld Devourer? He's not a playmaking mid, so it feels really awkward to pick him this patch, I think. I think pretty much all of the carries are these guys, like these ranged guys. So you want your mid to make plays. I just got distracted by, like, how annoying that person was. Give me a second here. Okay. How does this look if I... Okay. Okay, I think this is good. Top 5 every roll. Okay. I will go ahead and record the video now for your guys' viewing pleasure. Let's do that. Why not? You guys are going to get the outtakes on everything. You ready? Okay. Let me think about it here. I need to remove chat because it's too distracting. Thank you for the sub, Big Impulse. 122 months, poggers. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. And word. Thanks for the sub as well. I missed you 25 minutes ago. Okay. Okay. Yep. Don't shake my camera. Okay, guys. Need to like move a little bit this way. Okay. I'm going to start the recording now. Welcome back, everybody. We are about a week and a half into the new 7.40 patch, and I think it's about time to lay down what the meta is. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you not only what I believe to be the top 5 heroes in every role, but also the optimal playstyle of every role, so that if these heroes don't quite fit you, you can find something that fits this in your own hero pool. So without further ado, let's jump into my top 5 of every role list. Okay. Show me, the standard here. You're gonna, or for screen, you're gonna show the one thing at a time here. Each tier or each role. So let's start off with the 5 position. So the biggest change that happened in the 7.40 patch that affected the 5 position, in my opinion, is the flag bearer creep aura no longer working on heroes. That effectively removed a lot of regen from your safe laners. What also happened was you can no longer share tangos for full value. You can only share tangos to your teammates for half the amount of regen. So what that means as a carry player is carry players are struggling a lot with sustain. That also applies to other roles, but it especially applies to the 5 position. With that in mind, the 5 position needs to be a really strong lane dominator or a healing hero, or a healing hero. So when you look at my top 5 heroes, what I have here is Warlock, Jakiro, Treant, Io, and Pugna. So all of these heroes except for all these heroes except for Jakiro are healing heroes in some way. Pugna doesn't heal during the laning stage itself, but later on is sustained on the map, which I've also found to be very important. But something that's really common this patch is actually just double ranged hero lanes. Something that isn't traditionally very popular. Usually you like to have like one melee frontliner, one ranged guy. But what I've seen is that as long as the support is able to heal the carry or effectively body for them near the pull, then like a hero like Treant would, then your safe lane is set to win. Right now, if you don't win your safe lane and the other team does, my games have felt impossible. So the 5+1 combo has been all about that lane domination factor, and these are the heroes that I think are best at doing it. On the right here for every category, I have a hero that I think counters this in general. So obviously the answer to this is AA. And it's just something to consider that in my games, I have literally seen Omni Knight, Huskar, Warlock, and Pugna on the same team. And this has happened in like multiple of my games. So I've seen like 3 to 4 healing heroes on one team. So I do predict that AA will start getting picked because he's the be-all, end-all counter to healing heroes. Going from the 5 positions, since it's directly connected to its laning partner, we're actually going to jump up to the carry role. So for me, the carry role right now, because you are lacking more sustain, and you also are playing against people who are lacking sustain, what I have noticed is that ranged harassers are just way better right now. There's kind of this like balancing scale effect of, can heroes sustain through your harass? If not, then harassment, like ranged poking heroes, aren't that great. Or if they can't, then you just wear them down and you crush your lane. So in my experience right now,
if one team has a ranged lane dominating carry and the other one does not, then there's like a 5K net worth lead at 15 minutes for the team that has the ranged carry. This has been like hardly any exceptions to this rule. If I see Jakiro Wind Ranger on one team and like melee carry plus like generic 5 position on the other, then the laning stage is a complete disaster. Not only because of all the sustain turning into like a big snowball effect more so than normal, but because the Twin Gate is only 30 mana, if you're a healing lane and you've won the lane and your carry is free farming, you can just walk through the portal real quick, nuke the enemy carry with like a heal or just a casual, spell, because it's so cheap on mana to go through the gate now, that you lose 2 lanes at once and it snowballs very quickly. So when I'm looking at the meta, what I see for the carry, the absolute best hero in competitive as well as in pubs has been Wind Ranger. You have 2 good facets. You have the Tangled facet, which you max out your Q plus your Wind Run and completely skip Power Shot. And your whole idea in lane is to just click the opponent and you go tread straight into Mjolnir and items like Manta, Ags, and then like damage items later. But then you have heroes like Drow, who I thought, why did they already nerf her in 7.40B? If you look at the 7.40B nerfs, it's actually on like almost all the heroes you're seeing here, or like healing / ranged harassment heroes. Like that's the heroes that got nerfed. So like Valve understands, I think, what is happening here. So Drow, like probably the best lane dominating carry in all of Dota. Morphling is like the sustained trading carry. So if you're not a carry that completely bullies people out of lane, you want to be a carry that just out sustains the opponent. We've seen maxed adaptive strike with Phylactery and the maxed waveform with Vlad's of old. And I've also added SF because of the fact that his buff in 7.40B I think was pretty massive, giving him effectively 2, 4, 6 free souls as he's leveling up his ultimate. It's just extra damage for carry SF specifically. And when you have defensive supports, what they usually lack is damage, of course, and they need somebody that just stands still, cannot be kited, and just clicks people. So these like ranged turret carries, I think, are back, and Morphling's the one that has like a mobility spell to go in. Drow and SF are just strictly turrets, and Wind Ranger's kind of a hybrid kill plus turret hero. That's why I think she's the best, because out of all these carries, she also has solo kill potential. I've put Ursa here because he's getting picked a lot in competitive, and he's really good against the offlane pool right now. The side lanes, I feel like, are just a war of attrition. Everyone's just picking sustain heroes and heroes that have built-in sustain, heroes that whittle you down. That's all I'm seeing in the lanes right now. Nobody's, like, picking hard kill lanes. People are simply saying who at 4 minutes is going to run out of regen first, and that team is going to, like, snowball the lane really hard. So the reason I put Ursa here is because he just obliterates all of the sustain heroes if he's allowed to hit them. So the one caveat, and I actually went with this assumption watching Dream League, and it held true through every Ursa game that I saw, which was like at least 5 games, is that Ursa has to have a healing support. Otherwise, he runs out of regen and he can't do his job. So if you're picking Ursa, you have to have like Warlock, Tree, Io, Dazzle, something like this. It's not like in all of your guys' pubs this is going to matter. But, if you're dealing with Pudge 4s and, shitty melee offlaners, then sure, you don't need to apply this. But in my experience, healing support plus Ursa is like a pretty deadly combo in the safe lane right now. And I think Ursa is much more underwhelming if he does not have a healing support. So when I look at ranged carries as being the meta, carries that have a way to reliably catch them are naturally going to go up in value. PL is actually sitting at a really high win rate, and Spectre with the 7.40B patch has gone up in win rate as well. I'd say PL has kind of gone back to like old PL of just buying stat items, but you go for Manta no longer going Diffusal because it doesn't work on illusions. And Spectre, I've been seeing like Phylactery and Irradiance. I've been seeing all types of things. I'm not exactly sure what her build is going to play out to be, but giving her old haunt, there's no way to position around this. So heroes like Drow, SF, all these backline range right-clickers really struggle against Spectre. And also, Spectre and PL really like having sustained supports in lane. because they just naturally like to chill and farm. I think you'll lose your lane more often than not on these two heroes, maybe go about even. But you have such good playmaking catch-up potential on these heroes because the meta is filled with these ranged heroes. So that's why I think these heroes are good. So if you're not seeing a lot of ranged heroes in your games, then, keep that in mind. But that's why I think their win rates are so high. Moving on to their laning opponents, the 3s and the 4 position. Let's first start with the 4 position. So the 4 position for me has been heavy lockdown, heavy damage, and some sort of like pseudo utility save. Like these are kind of the formula I'm seeing. So I'm seeing a lot of Skye. Skye is especially crushing people if he's not against a sustained 5. I would avoid picking Skywrath Mage if you see a Warlock on the enemy team. But if you don't see something like that, like I've talked about, this sustain issue, any hero that whittles you down, absolutely OP. Shadow Demon, really hard hero to play. I put him in there because I feel like I just have to. He's really good right now. If you're a support player, and he does require you, in my opinion, to specialize, now's the time to learn him. Super, super strong hero. He's been that way for like 3-4 patches. He can stack for his team. A lot of the offlaners like to take stacks right now. He has like built-in damage amp on his second spell, which means that he effectively helps you burst down these tank heroes. He offers the save against some of the offlaners we're going to see. And even though he's not exactly like a heal support, I feel like he just requires you to focus him in fights, and that's something very useful in the meta right now. The only catch 4s that I really see are Shaman and Tiny. I always love Tiny. First off, he got buffed pretty massively, but secondly, against ranged carries. Tiny hates playing against carries that can just like jump away like an anti-mage or a void, right? Because he tosses them in and then they just leave. But Tiny loves playing against heroes like Drow and SF because you get tossed in, you're probably severely out of position and you're going to die. Shaman, on the other hand, we're just lacking a lot of playmaking potential from carries as well as offlaners in a bit. There's not a ton of playmaking potential from them. So having that from a 4 position is nice. I just think there's limited options right now for the amount of play potential. It's not good, I think, to pick follow-up heroes for playmaking. I think it's much better to pick a 4 that actually does it on his own. But we kind of see like Skywrath as the best laning 4. You have Shadow Demon, Coddle, who play much more for like trading and stacking camps. You have Shaman, who gives you the catch later. That has a pretty strong laning phase. People tend to be going chicken fingers Facet again. He had a lot of success at Dream League. And Tiny's more of a lane cutter that eventually can dive and catch these ranged heroes out of position. So do not lane straight up as Tiny or as any other melee 4 that you're playing. Lane cutting is the way to go right now because I can't tell you how many Warlock plus Drow, Warlock plus Windranger, Warlock plus Morphlings that I've seen in the safe lane, and that shit just sucks to lane against. Going to the off lane, so there's like this weird back and forth that's happening between carries and offlaners. I'd like to first and foremost say that in my games, 85% of the games, the safe lane is winning because they have a ranged hero, or they're going even or losing because they have a melee hero. And a lot of the offlaners right now are incredibly snowbally, hard to kill guys that accelerate their farm really fast and like boot you out of lane really fast. So I see like the Centaurs, the Tides, the Omnis, and then like the taunting heroes that buy blade mail and kill ranged heroes, right? So I put Legion and Axe there because they have pretty decent laning phases and they're really good against the carry meta pool right now. There's just not nearly as many Ursas as we see of the heroes that die to blink blade mail. So other than like specifically Ursa, these heroes suck. Every hero that plays carry sucks against the off lane of Legion and Axe. But bear in mind, if these heroes win their lane, it's like free. But most of the time I see them, they're kind of playing on the back foot, having to recover against ranged heroes. So kind of build to have teamfight impact later, get those sustain items, look to jungle a little bit after the laning phase. If you're playing against range, you can look to shit on them if it's a melee hero. But that's the dynamic I'm seeing with the offlane right now. And I put Necro as a counter to this because I think Necro, despite getting nerfed in the 7.40 patch, I've been seeing him a ton. I can just tell you that everyone's feeling this sustain change, and people are picking the shit out of Necro, and I think that he's just really good at beating the other sustain heroes. Like, he is the best sustain hero, but he's only good against other sustain heroes, if that makes sense. He isn't good against Windranger and Drow. because they just poke him from out of range and eventually take him down. Like Wind Ranger, Drow, and SF are pretty damn good in lane versus Necro. But if you, I've blamed against Necro carry just now, and it absolutely dumpstered me in lane, that it's going to dumpster these offlaners, and there's going to be carries like Spectre or something that it might dumpster as well. And it's also going to apply to the mid lane heroes. Any melees that just get whittled down over time. I think Necro is, that's why we're seeing so much of him. My problem with Necro going to the mid lane, with my transition, we're going to jump into our last and final role, is looking at the mid lane, what we've heard so far. Healing 5s, like utility damage force, beefy frontlining, like aura buying Crimson Guard pipe offlaners, and ranged carries. What are we missing here? What we're missing is playmaking. I played a game of Sniper mid, and it feels completely unplayable because one team runs around the map killing everybody because nobody on the safe lane and off lane are doing anything, is what I'm feeling. And it's not because they're playing badly. It's just the meta heroes don't move. They just kind of waddle around sustaining and tanking and right-clicking people. So with that in mind, I think the mid lane has to be a hard playmaker or a hard lane counter to the playmaker. So SF I put in there because I think he's like the most reliable hero for doing a little bit of both. He doesn't exactly playmake early, but he can apply pressure, and he does do pretty well against these other mid laners that are listed. But I also put Huskar and Necro in there because they're really good against Ember as well as Tiny. So looking at the mid lane pool, with Ember, I've seen Phaser Treads straight into Spirit Vessel. We're seeing a lot of Spirit Vessels, a lot of need to dispel stuff. And I've, like, it's unstoppable when I see these Embers just, like, max chains with the Chain Gang facet, and they just Searing Chains you, Spirit Vessel you, and you take, like, 2/3 of your HP and damage, and it absolutely sucks. Storm Spirit loves playing against range carries that are position-based. Tiny, same thing. And Invoker, even if he's not necessarily an early playmaker, I think the Midas change buffed him significantly because Invoker, even though he's an XP hero, he does want to get to his items faster, and that's what Midas now allows him to do. So we're seeing a lot of either Wex Invoker rushing Ags or Exort Invoker going Midas into Ags. And the Sunstrike gives you playmaking on the side lanes early, and you also kind of have like a pretty stable mid lane phase. And in the late game, Alacrity is amazing with ranged carries. Like, absolutely amazing with ranged carries. Like, it's okay on melee heroes, but like the power of attack speed and damage is your reliability to hit people, right? So Alacrity, I've seen, like, when one carry has it and the other one doesn't, it just feels really bad. So we've broken down all 5 roles. These are the top 5 heroes that I'm giving for each role. We've got classes right now. Utility damage for 4, healing for 5, beefy frontlining, like aura buying offlaners, playmaking mid laners, and ranged turret carries and Ursa. These are the heroes that I'm seeing in the meta right now. This is what I would define 7.40 as. Reminder that the pivotal change that made this happen, in my opinion, is the shared tangos as well as the flag bearer creeps no longer giving sustain. I hope you very much enjoyed this meta update. I'll keep you guys posted as best I can. And if you want to know more about how to farm in this patch, check out the video that I also made talking about the structure of the jungle camps, as well as how to maximize your farm with them. See you guys in future videos. Peace out. I don't know why I said peace out, but we'll leave it there. Okay. Big Impulse with 200 bits. Wow. Nice, man. 6.6K. Sick, dude. Congratulations. I'm glad my coaching's still helping. That was a pretty good first try. I mean, it's funny because my meta updates get probably the most views out of any of my videos, but but they're definitely my lowest ever videos. Like, I don't have to do multiple takes and edit and stuff. Well, I don't edit ever, but the editing is less. That was a nice 17-minute clear cut. Boom. What do you think about Clinks? Is he a ranged carrier that does a lot of damage? Sounds good to me. How do you guys generally feel about these, like, behind the scenes streams? Because when I'm doing this sort of stuff, I'm not going to really interact with you very much. It's fine. You love it. Breakfast Cobalt says. You like interactive streams, but you do you. Interesting. Kind of boring. Interesting. It's better than your gameplay. Fair enough. I also like interactive streams. Hearing your responses to questions is enlightening. Yeah, I guess I'm curious if you watched my meta update. I mean, it sounds like you just watched Youngblood. I'm curious if you applied that yet. Feels kind of sad. I'm not exactly too concerned about doing a poll because I mean, the option is to stream it or not stream it. So if there's like X percentage of people that enjoy it, sometimes I'll stream it. It's not like the purpose of the poll would not be, do I change this? You know what I mean? Because I'm not looking to change it. New Dota player here. New sustain changes are destroying my muscle memory. Yeah, I've just been buying a bunch of extra tangos in response. I'd rather have too much regen and fuck it up that direction than the other way. Can you comment a little on Silencer stand as a counter to position 4? I don't think Silencer is particularly good right now. See you later, Youngblood. I like it. We get the info earlier and we can ask questions after you record it. Fair enough. Yeah, that's nice, Eternal Highness. What about a Batten? Yeah, Batten would fit the meta decently. What do you think about sustain heroes in mid? I mean, my issue is if you have a sustain hero in mid, then you have literally no playmaking potential in most drafts. That's been my experience. So that's the problem. For me, the only role of mid is to be able to make plays right now. Or to completely shit on the enemy guy who's trying to make plays. Thoughts on CK position 1? I mean, my thoughts are that it's not one of the best heroes in Dota.
It could probably work. Crystal has faded away. I think the hero's pretty good, actually. Yeah, it's interesting. I think my question was a little bit misunderstood. I'm thinking about how I'd better ask the question about, what do you guys think about this? Admiral Yama, thanks for the 21 months. So what we're doing is we just recently reorganized. So you said that you're a bit confusing with the Discord server. So I'll just give you guys a brief explanation of what we did. There is going to be a quick, like 1.5 minute video for people to watch to better understand. That has not been made yet, though. So I'll just show you what we did with the Discord so you guys can, the people who are here can hopefully better understand a bit. So what we did with the server was we reorganized things based on is just all the stuff that you would need to do that interacts with the server in some way. That's like what the front desk is. The VIP section is if you want to upgrade to VIP, but all you should see is this. So like if I, let me do this before. I need to see, there's a way to like view server as, I think you go to roles. Where's the everyone role? I need to know how to do this. Give me a second here, guys. How do you... There's a way to fucking do this. How do I fucking see this? How do I... What's that, ChatGPT? Hey, ChatGPT, trying to see my Discord server through the perspective of a specific role. How do I do that? No, you can definitely do this. As a moderator, I can do this. Definitely. How do I do it? Because I've literally done it before, you stupid ChatGPT. Click server names. Okay, so server name, roles. Top. Use server as a role. I don't see it. Fuck me, man. Oh well. I'll just show you guys. I tried. You're just gonna see a bunch of channels that I see. Oh well. So what we did was you have the VC lounge, which is just everywhere that you would talk to people, which is like this section. Like, hey, I want to go talk to people. That's that section. If you want anything
coaching related, it's here. Oh, I need to leave this. Anything coaching related is here in this section. So like if you're not interested in coaching, you can just minimize it. Anything improvement related is here. So this is talking about Dota, stats about Dota, questions about Dota, peer replay review, searching for teammates based on your rank. So this is the improvement section. If you're there to just chill and talk to people, there's this section, which is just unranked stuff, real life chat, share your wins, share some clips. That's what this section's for. And then if you're looking for specifically more from me, you go here. So that's what we did with the server, and I'm going to give like a quick, minute and a half video about it that will help you guys find it easier. But for all the features that we have, we thought this was the best way to organize it, which is by why you're here. Coaching content, talking to people and getting better, talking to people to just chill, literally voice chatting with people over here. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's like 4 functionalities of this server. And so we've divided the server up in these functionalities. So like, yeah, that's what we did. Can you tell which situation is more if I should go for the adaptive strike? My opinion would be whichever one you know less about, just do it 5 games in a row. If you don't know either of them, do both of them blindly 10 games in a row and ask yourself, how did that work or not? What problem did I run into? That's my recommendation for that question. Because that kind of stuff just feels, The Vlad's build is like 100% physical damage, while the E-Blade build is like 80% magical damage. So that can factor in. That's probably like the most, generic answer I can give. Do Twitch subs get anything extra on Discord? No. I am currently doing nothing to promote Twitch subs. Have a great New Year's as well, Big Impulse. Hey, I came from YouTube. Want to be a part of chat too? I tend to look at YouTube. Just right now I was looking at something else, so sorry about that. Thank you, Cray Rage. Thank you, Yoberti Garcia. Got a question in this patch. When is it better to go Mjolnir instead of Battle Fury on Jug? I feel like everybody's going Battle Fury. But, I mean, I'm honestly not sure. I feel like you'll just have sustain issues if you don't buy Battle Fury. So E-Blade versus Terrorblade, for example. Yeah, that's an example. Why are people maxing E on Clinks first? I have seen a grand total of 0 Clinkses in my games. I think the hero's probably good, but I've seen a grand total of 0. So I don't know what people are doing. Do you think building Armlet Deso can be viable on Lifestealer? No. I think Lifestealer has only one viable build, and that's Radiance. Maybe Armlet into Radiance. Maelstrom or Armlet for DK. Corrosive goes Armlet. The other 2 go Maelstrom. Generally. Yeah, when would you go Armlet before Radiance on Lifestealer? When you need it to be able to like win your lane, where you would otherwise lose the lane, but if you build it, you win your lane. It's like the tiebreaker. It's kind of how like every mid-tier item works. It's like, I will lose this lane if I don't go Armlet. I will win this lane if I go Armlet. How to deal with brood last pickers? By being prepared for it. So whatever role you're playing, you can nominate Brood for banning like I did, and just be aware of Brood and communicate to your team. But I've been losing to Brood as well. Spectre and Clinks are definitely good heroes right now. They just got reworked, so people are going to be a bit slow to catch on, I think. I love your streams. Just you talking is enjoyable enough for me. Yeah, man. Glad to hear it. Long-time sub since 2016. I really enjoy the pub streams. I know you said you'd stop, but when you commentate, it really makes for good educational content. Yeah, I mean, generally we are just playing less. I appreciate that you enjoy the streams. I am realizing just more and more I don't really like streaming pubs. What do you think about Brewmaster? I highly recommend you go talk to Monkeys Forever. Like, he streams on Twitch a lot, I think. And, like, there's just people to go to for certain heroes. And he would know more about Brewmaster, and, like, he could tell you more about Brewmaster in, like, 20 seconds than I could tell you in, like, an hour. He is, like, the Brewmaster specialist. Do you grind off stream? Yeah, I've been playing. Not a ton, but I've been playing. Just the holidays have made it less. But I play, like, 15, 20 games a week, maybe. Sometimes you're offlaner or mid go Radiance. What then if you're a Radiance carry? At the end of the day, if your hero needs to buy the item, you buy it, you know? And you end up with two of them. I mean, so much of my life in the last 6 months has been doing, like, trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And part of that is, like, I mean, a large part of that is how do I spend my time? Why isn't there any third-party matchmaking service in Dota? Good question. Good question. Also, Monkeys hated Void Panda, so he's happy it's gone. Yeah, fair enough. Have you played Ember yet? I have not played Ember for 3 years, but I put him in my pool because I do believe he's the best mid hero right now. Where do you rate PA? For me, I think PA is incredibly overrated. I don't think she's good. I've been seeing her a lot in games, and I personally think she has, like, no position in the meta. Okay, guys. I am going to play one more pub before my mod meeting. But that's going to be it for today. I apologize. This was originally meant to be a coaching stream, and then I just misunderstood my schedule. So I will be back online about 22 hours from now. So tomorrow, 2 hours earlier. We will be having a coaching session then. And then tomorrow evening, I will have another coaching session, a class, and another coaching session. So we got a lot of coaching shit tomorrow. We got 3 coaching sessions and a class. So there's going to be like 7 or 8 hours of BSJ content tomorrow for your viewing pleasure. So make sure to tune in for that if you're interested. And I am going to be heading out. I'll see you guys then. Bye, guys.